welcome to another episode of Toya Talks Wrestling. Ted Turner died at the age of 88, I believe, on May 6, 2026. Now, I know Ted Turner has many contributions to like cable TV, CNN, Cartoon Network, etc. But we're going to talk about, obviously, the pro wrestling, because this is a wrestling show. So I believe Ted Turner bought out Jim Crockett's Productions. I don't remember what it was called. Something like JCP or some shit like that. I can't remember what it was called, because Jim Crockett was going into bankruptcy, I believe. So Ted Turner, who was a huge pro wrestling fan, was like, I'll buy it, and eventually turned it into WCW. And I believe that there was people who were like, Ted, no one's gonna watch freaking wrestling, pro wrestling on cable, on whatever and stuff like that. You're wasting your time, wasting your money. It's not a dignified sport to watch. It's not like baseball, which I think he was a huge Atlanta Braves fan. It's not baseball, it's not basketball, it's not football. People don't want to watch wrestling. And Ted Turner's like, yeah, screw all that. I'm gonna put it on there, and he put it on TV and everything else like that, and kind of just changed the course of how we watch, wrestling today, honestly. And a lot of people love the Attitude Era in the WWF, WWE now, but WWF at the time, where it's like, and I don't think the Attitude Era would have started if it wasn't for Ted Turner. Ted Turner and Eric Bishop, they said, fuck it, let's go against WWE, WWF's Raw, and we'll go up against them. And then we had the Monday Night Raws, where they dominated for 83 weeks. That's why Eric Bishop's podcast is 83 weeks, because that's like his biggest accomplishment in the wrestling world, and he will never let you forget that. But yeah, if it wasn't for Ted DiBiase, wow. If it wasn't for Ted Turner, I don't think we would have that. Because for the longest time, you had Vince McMahon pretty much gathered the audience of like little children, and where WCW was gathering the audience of like 18 to 30-year-old like men, right? And they were just fucking on. They were on fire. If it wasn't for like Ted Turner to put a fire under Vince McMahon's ass, we probably would not have gotten the Attitude Era, and then the Monday Night Wars. And then it was like, Vince McMahon was like, oh, we'll just ignore WCW. We'll just ignore Ted Turner. And Ted Turner is like, nah, you're not gonna ignore me, man. He was freaking Roman Reigns before Roman Reigns was Roman Reigns. He was like, you're gonna acknowledge me, okay? Alright? That's what you're gonna do. You're going to acknowledge me. To the point to where Vince had to acknowledge him. And by acknowledging him, he had to come up with like his own like version of like the NWO. I'll be honest with you, when the NWO came out and I saw Hulk Hogan being a heel, yeah, I watched some WCW, because WCW Monday Night Nitro would come on from like 8 to 10, and I would watch, unless I was like working or practice or whatever, or school activities or something like that, I would watch WCW. And then I would go over to the last hour of Raw, and because Raw was from like 9 to 11, so from like 10 to 11 I would watch that last hour of Raw. But it wasn't until like I got more interested when DX started coming out, and DX was, pretty much playing off of what's going on with the NWO at WCW. And I remember like DX going over to like WCW when they were back, I think they were in like the same city and everything else. But like the Monday Night Raw, the Monday Night Wars were just, it was great, man. It was great television. It was just fun to watch because you had to see like, okay, what is WCW gonna do? What is WWE now gonna do? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what is each gonna do right now? It's like, okay, you got interested. It's great. We don't have that anymore. We don't have that competition anymore. It's like, okay, you take Mondays and Tuesdays, and we'll take Wednesdays and Fridays, and you'll take Thursdays. I mean, it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, man. It's like, I wonder, like, the only time we ever had that was when, like, I believe AEW and NXT were on the same day. I don't know if it was a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I'm not 100% sure, where there was like competition. It's like, ooh, what are you gonna watch? You're gonna watch NXT, Black and Gold, or are you gonna freaking watch like AEW? AEW was pretty good at the time. And I was like, oh man, you know? And now it's like, oh no, I can just go watch Raw over here and Dynamite over here and freaking whatever TNA is called is over there and stuff like that. There's not the competition. There's competition, but there's no competition, because it's like, for me, competition is like, give me a choice to where it's like, which one I can watch first. Because I mean, I can watch both of them, but I'm like, which one I'm going to watch live, which one I'm going to watch after the fact. And it wasn't like you could watch these shows live, because it's not like, oh, well, you know, the only way you can actually watch them like again was if you videotaped it. You know what I'm saying? You had to videotape that shit. You know, back in the 90s and everything else, when you got cable, it's not like, oh, you can just save it for later. No, they didn't have demand back then. You literally had to go get a VHS tape and say, hey, nobody touch the fucking TV from 8 to 10 or 9 to 11 or whatever, because I am going to watch wrestling. Okay, I need to record this. And there's always that some person, okay, and then they fuck it up. But yeah, so you know, it's not like nowadays where you can just go back to like Netflix or HBO or whatever the hell they have these fucking wrestling cables nowadays and go and watch it again. But yeah, so you know, Ted Turner did a lot for wrestling, and I want to thank him for that. If it wasn't for him, we probably wouldn't be watching wrestling today. So thank you so much, Ted Turner. R.I.P. Anyways, that is it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. I do have another video out today for the prediction show for Backlash with Tim on T2T Wrestling, so make sure to go watch that if you haven't yet. And thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Okay, bye!